Now, the tornadoes which have hit parts of Illinois, Indiana and Kentucky have wiped out entire neighbourhoods, killing at least 6 people, injuring hundreds more.
Well, the town of Washington in Illinois was worst hit. Some people believed to be still trapped in the rubble. We can talk now to Pastor Dave Jane, who's there. He's been providing food and shelter to those who've lost their homes. Dave, good morning. Thanks very much for joining us. I know you're staying up very late to speak to us this morning. You were in the middle of a church service, weren't you, when the storm struck?
We were, yeah. It was literally in the middle of our church service. I was up speaking when the alert came through.
Tell us what happened.
Well, we'd had some warnings that there could be some bad weather coming our way, but then during the service, people were getting warnings on their phones, and then the radars were picking up sightings of a tornado, and then an actual siren went off, which in our town is meaning it's time to get to shelter. This is for real.
And once the storm had passed, what was it like then?
Well, did you ask if the storm had passed?
Once the storm passed, what was it like after that?
Oh, once the storm passed. Well, you know, we all took shelter. We were in a school, that's where we meet, and we took shelter in the locker rooms, and we could definitely feel the storm go by. And then there was obviously a very quiet, and some of us ventured out to check things out, and we were all safe and sound, and it didn't look too bad outside the building we were in. But then we started to move towards the neighborhoods nearby between the school and where I live. And at that point, you just realized exactly in such a short space of time how much damage the storm did.
Yeah, we just, whilst you were speaking, Dave, been looking at pictures of it, and it's devastating for the community, I'd imagine.
It absolutely is. I mean, we see these kind of things happen on TV, but to see it in real life is just unbelievable. And just walking the streets, seeing people whose homes just minutes before had been standing there, and now just complete piles of rubble, just climbing around, trying to retrieve anything they could from their homes.
Yeah, well, how do you set about rebuilding once the whole neighborhood's been flattened?
Well, that's a great question. I think that's one that tomorrow morning when we wake up, we'll have to figure out the answer to. It's been amazing. A lot of people from surrounding communities have showed up with bottled water and clothing and have helped with a lot of the displaced families. I think tomorrow it'll just be a big clean-up beginning.
Yeah. The one, well, not good thing, but consolation in the sense is that the warning system seems to work very well in the United States now.
Absolutely. I mean, I really do believe that is what saved many lives. We had the weather reports coming up. Most of us with cell phones were getting alerts on our cell phones, just flashing up on the screens. So we were all ready. And then when the siren went off, we knew for sure it was time to bunker down and prepare.
All right, Pastor Dave Jane, thanks very much for joining us this morning and staying up so late to speak to us from Washington, Illinois. And we're sorry about the picture interference, but we could certainly hear what he was saying.
Absolutely.
Well, Dave Jane is originally from Croydon and now works as a pastor at a church in Washington, Illinois, one of the areas badly hit by the tornadoes. Joins us now. Hello, Dave.
Hi there.
Hi, what happened to you?
Well, we were actually, at the time it hit us in Washington, was literally in the middle of our church service. We were about half an hour into the service, and at this point I was speaking, and people suddenly started to get alerts on their phone, and there's been somebody monitoring the weather on the radio. So we stopped the service and pushed people to the side of the gym. We meet in a school, so we pushed them to the side of the gym, the strongest part of the structure. And to be honest, you know, we get bad weather from time to time, and normally it clears up or it's a threat of something more serious but never transpires. But this time, the sirens started to go off, and they only let the sirens off when it really is, you know, you need to take shelter right now.
Yeah.
So we took shelter in the locker rooms and just bunkered down and tried to wait it out.
How bad did it get, Dave? And it's daylight now. What have you seen? What can you see?
You know what? So it's amazing because it happened this day morning, probably about 11. So we spent the whole of yesterday afternoon back in our neighbourhood where we lived, just further down from the school we meet as a church. So, I mean, we saw yesterday just devastation. You know, you could literally see the path that it took because you were standing, you know, in a street and you could look and you could see things that you couldn't see before, buildings off in the distance that you couldn't see before because houses were there and they could see clear across town. There was just this long path of just levelled houses.
Dave, you're safe now. We're glad to hear. Thank you very much for joining us. That's Dave Jane there, who's in Washington, Illinois. Right, joining us at 2 o'clock, Richard Bacon is here now. Hello, Richard.
Great, good afternoon.
How are you?
Good.